top tier, just pick a top tier.
Oh no! Oh no! There it is! Champion! Sanford Kelly! He finally wins! And he goes crazy!
Childhood was crazy. I used to travel to laundromats to play. I started learning how to play from my older brother. Then I had my best friend Jerron, who also played before I did, and I just used to watch them play, like not just each other, but like in the arcade. And then I just wanted to get as good as them, so I started going to like the local arcades around where I lived at. I started traveling to like Fordham Road, which is, you know, on the 4 train in the Bronx. I started going to, you know, some parts in Brooklyn, like to play, and started getting good. My brother was really good in WrestleMania, the arcade game, and he had this cheap trick that he used to do to me and Jerron all the time, and we couldn't figure out how to stop. So that's when the competitive drive for me started, because I wanted to be like, I was like, I gotta find a way to beat him. So I started playing Undertaker, and Undertaker had weights around it, and then I was like, oh, okay, I just gotta learn another character. So that branched out for me to learn other characters. You know, Ken was my main character in Street Fighter. And I was like, okay, I want to learn Ryu, Zangief, and I started playing like Sim. So it just made me branch out to other characters to learn a different style. So that's basically how I started learning. Yes, I did cut class. Don't do this at home, kids. I was really passionate about improvements. I saw improvement from my gameplay, you know, and when I traveled, I saw different styles that I can learn from. So it wasn't just like me improving by playing the computer. It was more like me learning how other people played, so I could adapt it to my style, so I can make myself the best version of myself.
Nope, check him. That shit ain't free. So rough meter, love the trade-off, and that's it. Mutant 4 took that 3-1.
For me, it was a couple of locations. Neo Crash was my starting grounds, and then after that was Phil's. Back then, like, you had to like stay on, you know, because there was such long lines, people playing on arcade. So if you lost, you have to wait like 5 people to play again. That was another thing. That was another reason why I wanted to get so good, because I was like, I don't want to wait this line. When I started going to Chinatown Fair is when I realized that, hey, there's other people that are just as good as me out here, you know. I was in my own head, because I felt I was the best in the Bronx at that time. So when I went to Chinatown Fair, it was a different environment for me. I not only played Street Fighter games, I also played KOF games, which is King of Fighters. I also played Tekken, you know, so there's different scenes and communities for those particular games. I thought I was good at King of Fighters. I got smoked when I came to Chinatown Fair, like bad. And I was like, okay, I'm not good at this game. So I had to decide what I'm gonna stay with, right? So there was a game called CVS1, Capcom vs. SK1, that I used to play a lot, because I used to play it with my best friend Jerron. Capcom vs. SK1 was a very popular game, so a lot of people played it. So the line was never ending. A lot of people came from the outside, from different boroughs, to come and play it in general, you know. Little did we know, there was Eddie Lee.
You think that you're going to fare off today, or this whole weekend?
Wow, the competition's really fierce, so I'm just hoping to do my best.
There was a guy named Norman there. He told us that Eddie Lee comes on Fridays, so we were like, you know something, we want to play Eddie Lee, you know, we want to see how we measure up against him. So we waited. He played us on Friday and he destroyed us. And we were like, okay, there's another level to this game. We gotta get better. Eddie Lee and Henry Sen are the founding fathers of the East Coast for me. Before there was a Justin Wong, before there was Eddie Lee. You know, he was doing this before any of us, and he was holding it down for all of us as well. So I have a lot of respect and appreciation for him. CVS1 was when I met Justin. I didn't know who he was, you know. He was just part of the streak, because we were streaking everybody. So we were just like, okay, we'll just beat him. And then he played us and we beat him. He said, hey, do you know who you just beat? You just beat Justin Wong. He's like the best, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, but we just beat him. Like, how's he the best? He was like, no, he's the best in Marvel 2. And we were like, I think I'll beat him in Marvel 2, because I was beating people in the Bronx, you know. I watched them play some Marvel 2, like in between, you know, the streak happening and stuff, because we still were playing. And I watched them play, and I was like, oh, I don't know if I can beat him in this game. I was like, I didn't know he's that good. And I was just watching, I was like, I'm gonna play him. And then he destroyed me, like 7 straight. I was so like concentrated on beating Justin that I didn't care about the streak anymore. I was like, okay, I just want to beat him because now he's beating me this bad. I gotta figure it out. And then we lost the streak. That's how, I guess that's like the grassroots. Well, the beginning of me and Justin's rivalry. Even though it was like really minuscule at the time, that was like the beginning of it. Like, because he used to destroy me in that game, and I always wanted to beat him. There was a tournament, or there is a tournament organizer. His name is Big Eric. He runs tournaments in Philadelphia, majors, about 3 times a year. At the time, he was running something called March Madness, which is now called Winter Brawl. I wasn't gonna go to this tournament. I'd never been to a tournament. I didn't know what it was like. I don't know what the experience is like. I didn't know anything. So they was like, hey, you know, we'll pay for you to go to the tournament. We'll just take you to Philadelphia with us. You just get in a van and come with us. I said, no, I'm not going to Philadelphia. I never left the state. I never left. So I was like, I don't wanna do that, you know. But a good friend of mine's at the time, he used to tell me like, hey, you know, I think you would do really well if you went. I think you should really consider going. And I went to this tournament with no expectations. You know, it's my first tournament. I didn't know how brackets were ran. I didn't know anything. I just was like, okay, I'll just keep playing. So he's like, hey, you know, you got to play this person. So I beat him. They're like, hey, you know, you got to beat this person. So I beat that person. And I was in one of his finals. And I played the best player from Boston at that time. I believe he put me in losers. I don't remember. I think he put me in losers. And then I came back and beat him 2 sets. I don't know if the guy was nervous or whatever, but I wanted to win the tournament. That was the first tournament I've ever won, which is the first tournament I ever entered. That was really special for me, and it always will be. So I've only traveled to one tournament with Justin. That tournament was Tips and Tricks in 2003. I went to that tournament with Justin. I got 5th. Justin won that tournament. David Lee got 2nd. It did boost my confidence when I did go with him because, you know, for who he is, obviously. And he's also, you know, one of the people that taught me how to play. So for me, it was a really great experience to travel with him. I learned a lot from Justin. I always will learn from Justin. I think he's the GOAT, personally. You know, I do think he's #1, like, all time.
Oh my God! He takes it!
Empire Arcadia is the root of my gaming existence. I was with them back in 1996. You know, that was before any of this. You know, it was called Videoland. It wasn't called Empire Arcadia. It was called Videoland. It was me, Triforce, Jerron, Teddy, Steve, Devin, Kaleem. There's a lot of us, and we should just play games and try to get better at them. So we created something called Videoland, where we're our own characters in it. Our best game, we'd be like, hey, you can't beat me in that game. So if they play the game, we'd destroy them and then be like, oh, my character beat your character or stuff like that. We've made it more competitive, pretty much. Empire Arcadia is basically a branch off that. It's marketed in a way where we're the best fighting game group.
He played with his
Oh my God! Here it comes.
He got him! Yo! What a finish! Yo, bullet!
I like to optimize characters. If I play Sagat, I want to know everything about Sagat. I want to know what his most damaging combo is. I want to know what his matchup spread is. I want to know what's the most damaging anti-air. I want to know everything about Sagat. I may not win all the time, but I do the most optimal things, or I'm one of the most optimal players. That's where my pride is at. I like to play the game the way I see it should be played, and I want to play it at my best and show people what I see. The flaw in that is I have a lot of loyalty to characters. Yes, I've said pick a top tier, but the reason I said pick a top tier was because I was going through a crisis with Ken in Street Fighter 4 when it first came out. Ken was bad, and I was losing to a player named Marn. He was playing Sagat, and I was like, you know something? I'm gonna just pick a top tier. So I started playing Sagat, and I wound up getting 4th place at Evo that year.
Nice. Neutral jump, big punish.
That was
Sanford.
so smart. That was
like
so
it.
smart, yeah.
I like it.
There it is, that's it.
Yep.
Brent shaking his head, very disappointed in this play.
How did you find your Marvel 2 team?
Trying to beat Justin. Trying to beat Justin. I ran out of ideas. I was like, I can't beat him with MSP. I can't beat him with cable teams. I gotta figure something out. Doing all of these complex things, he's not doing complex things. He's beating me with patience and strategy. So I have to implement that into my game, but I have something easier to play. So I just started playing that. So that's how I developed Team Santhrax.
The winner of this, if it's Justin Wong, will be your champion. Sanford has to win 2 to take Justin out.
I absolutely had no expectations because I was playing Street Fighter 4 so much before I came to that Evo. Because if I don't focus on Street Fighter 4, I feel like I'm not gonna play as well. But that was the reverse because Duck was in my pool. So that changed everything when I found that out. I was like, wait a minute, Duck's in my pool? So I got a chance to beat him now. And then Sue was also in that pool. So once I beat Duck and then I beat Sue, I was in winners semis. So I was like, wait a minute, I can win here. Like this, I'm basically 2 matches away from winning. When I won winners finals, I was like, if I continue to play well, I can win Evo. You know, grand finals happened. I think he 3-0'd me the first set, and then Chris Matrix came up to me and was like, hey, pick Team Scrub. I was like, I'm not picking that team. Chris was like, yo, listen to me. Pick Team Scrub. Yeah, Cable is crazy. I'm telling you, I don't think he's gonna be able to cope with it. I said, I'ma try it. The reason I tried it is because I didn't have another choice. I didn't have another option. I was like, okay, I'm out of options. Santhrax is not working, so I have to try something else.
He just got to find a hole. Oh, not a lot of time left on the clock. He's gonna have to make short work of Sanford. Oh no! Oh no! There it is! Champion Sanford Kelly! He finally wins! The Evo goes crazy! The crowd is rushed!
After I won, I couldn't believe it. I was like, I can't believe I just won Evo. I felt I was supposed to win in 2007. And another thing that people really don't know about Evo 2K7 is to make top 8, I lost to Justin. So he was undefeated for 4 years straight. This includes all locals, this includes all majors. He's won every tournament. I beat him at Breakpoint, which is monthly at 8 on the break, which is in New Jersey. And I've been chasing him for a while before that. I've gotten very close, but I've lost. And I've lost confidence at one point. I was like, I can't beat him. I don't understand why he's so good. A couple other people used to tell me like, hey, have you watched your matches with him? And I'm like, I kind of don't like to watch them because I don't like seeing myself lose, you know? It was an ego thing. I was like, I can't stand seeing myself lose. And for them, they're like, we're trying to, we want you to see how you're losing. It's not just the loss, it's how you're losing. My boy Lincoln, he was like, hey, I saw the matches with you and Justin, you know, you were doing some good stuff. You almost beat him, right? I was like, yeah, I almost done. He was like, no, like, I want to show you this match, right? So I was like, all right, so. And I'm watching it, and I'm like, why did I do that? I'm like, I could have won. Like, what am I doing? So Breakpoint, that tournament, I don't think he knew I was coming. I caught like the last train there. We met up again. I put him in losers, and I'm like, okay. And then he was up on me 2-0 in the next set, and I was like, oh boy, I'm done, right? Something clicked in my head, right? I was like, I can't lose like this again, right? I tried MSS. I won that game. He countered me with MSB. I won that game, so it was 2-2 now. So once it's tied up, my confidence starts to slowly increase because it went from me having no wins to me having tied him. So once I tied him, I said, okay, it's anybody's game now. Now it's basically like we're just starting fresh. I won the next game. It was 3-up. So basically it's 1 game now. He picked my own team on me. He picked Santhrax, which shocked me. I was like, wait a minute. I didn't expect him to pick Santhrax on me because he never played that team on me. And I took it as an insult. I was like, really? You just gonna pick my own team on me? So that's how I felt at that time, right? So I picked his Sentinel color on him to mock him. Like, it's like, okay, you can pick my team, I'll pick your colors. So I picked the Sentinel color, and I played amazing with Sentinel. Like that game, I think Sentinel was the reason I won that game. And I played incredible with Sentinel that game. And I beat him. That place exploded. It was so loud, I couldn't even hear myself talk. I didn't brace myself for it or nothing. It just happened. I just started crying, and I kissed the marble cabinet, and Justin was really pissed. I think that win meant more to me than the Evo win. I've been everywhere for this game for the most part, and I've played the best players, and everywhere I went, they respect me and I respect them. You know, they welcome me with open arms. They've been like family to me, you know. Even in California, when I've come to California, they treat me great, you know. When they visit New York, I treat them great, you know. I know, you know, they have their favorites, and that's every place, you know. Every place is gonna have their favorite players, you know, because they're from there, but it's all love. I feel like I've earned my respect in this community, and one thing about me is I played in every era in this community. I may not give back to the team on a financial tip, I may not hold tournaments, I may not do that, but I make time for you. I make time for people. Not because they're fans, it's because I'm a fan. I'm a fan of the game. I want people to get better. I want to see the game played at the highest level. That's what I enjoy personally.